All right. On last week's episode, we said we're going to get Scotty back, and we have not delivered, but we got someone just as good. We've got Tommy with us. He's just as good looking as Scotty, but I
Got
reckon
the
he has a
beard up.
bigger smile than Scotty for sure. As we were just saying before we started, it's good to have a chat. We're not at shows rushing around, clients are everywhere, and we actually get to stop and sit and actually have a really, really good conversation. So it's good to chat with you, bro. One thing about this year that I reflected on when we were going to get you on, I was like, Tommy's one of those guys where when we talk about having a really, really good show day, connecting with people there, having a good time, it's a really, really good vibe. Tommy's one of those guys that really brings the vibe up. And we always have like good chats, good conversations. We always have a laugh. You're always a good guy to be around on show day, man. So I really, really appreciate it. And we really do support each other. Like I know whenever my clients are on stage, you're cheering for them and you're wishing me all the best and vice versa. So I appreciate people like you in the industry because it makes the biggest difference and it makes it really, really enjoyable to be a coach. So we appreciate you, bro.
Absolutely, man. And that means a lot because, it can be a very hostile industry from going to bodybuilding shows and things like that, especially when it's competitive, right? When you've got clients who are very competitive, it's almost like this coaches have to be against each other. Or if you're doing bad, that means I'm going to do good. So I need to bring you down. And that's a lot of people's almost marketing method is if another coach does bad, that's good for me. And that's why it's so toxic lately of bodybuilding and whether it's social media and stuff like that. When the reality is bodybuilding is growing so massively right now from natural bodybuilding, enhanced bodybuilding. It's growing so crazy. There's so many clients for everyone to succeed. Everyone should just be on the same team. It makes it so much funner on comp day and it makes us actually want to go there. And that's better for all athletes if we're all happy.
Yeah, exactly right. And you're right. There's so much business and clients out there. There's no scarcity. So, we all have enough clients to fill our books. Let's just go to a show and enjoy ourselves and just celebrate everyone's success, right? And that's what it should all be about. And I know, like in the past, especially for some federations, there's always a little bit of a different vibe. But I'm really finding in the last year and a half or two, things have really picked up. And it's, as I said, it's a lot more enjoyable to be around it, to be around at shows. What do you think, MG?
Oh man, 100%. Look, I always, as soon as I get to a show, I'm always like, where the fuck's Tom? Because he's just got that one that always got that big smile, man, which makes a difference. And every time like Tom and I have someone in the same class, it's always just like he'll come up and say, "Oh, your athlete looks amazing," and he's just always so positive. And it's probably no coincidence that that's why we all get along so well, right? That we all surround ourselves with the people that bring us up on show day, make us feel good about what we do, but also encourage a really positive environment. And Tom said it really well. Like sometimes it can feel like it's hostile, but one of the things I found, especially this season more than any season, right? I got this feedback from multiple competitors. They did their first show and they're like, "Oh my God, I can't believe how much encouragement and how positive backstage was. I was really nervous about getting backstage on show day for what the other competitors who I didn't know were going to be like." And I feel like over the last couple of seasons, people, not just coaches, but other competitors have really been supporting each other backstage as well. And that's also contributed to where, bodybuilding across all feds is in Victoria at the moment. Having done some promoting in other states, I'm not saying the vibes aren't good in other states. I just haven't had enough exposure to promoting in other states. But I can definitely say in Victoria that I feel like the sport is in a really good place at the moment. And as you both said, the sport's only going to continue to grow and grow and grow, which is great for everybody involved. And I think if we can continue to promote a really positive environment from a coach's standpoint and also from a competitor standpoint, it's just going to make more and more people be drawn to the sport.
We obviously want to get to know Tommy a little bit. So I'm going to throw some this or that questions at you. You can tell me what your answer is. So let's just kick it off. Really, really simple and basic. Coke Zero or Pepsi Max?
Pepsi Max, all day, every day. If you choose Coke Zero, you're over the age of 40. Pepsi Max is for young people. Coke Zero is for my parents. So
all right.
I don't know what you don't like, but I'm hoping I haven't
No. Hey, so me and MT have both been on the Coke Zero train. It's probably no coincidence that we're really close to 40 years old.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, I have a miniature sausage dog, and her name is Pepsi.
Okay. Well,
the little Pepsi is 3 years old. She's a Cobra dog, and
that's old, man.
had the name right, the most fabulous drink ever known to man.
All right. So we'll this is for the listeners. Hit us up on the page. Is Coke Zero for old people? Let's get a little bit of a feedback response and a poll going.
Man, you know why I actually came with that question first? Because I was literally thinking to myself, I didn't finish my Coke Zero that I had with lunch, and I was like, it's not next to me. I wanted to finish it. I literally was thinking that. All right, let's go to the next one. We spoke about breakfast on our last potty. If you had to pick between these two and you could only have them for the rest of your life, eggs for breakfast or oats for breakfast. And you can choose any topping, do whatever the hell you want with them, but for the rest of your life, eggs or oats.
Okay. I'm gonna pick eggs from like a performance standpoint of I'm getting nutrients in there, I'm getting my fats in there, my protein. I'm gonna get the rest of the food throughout the day. Eggs start my day off well. I'll go with eggs because it's so versatile too.
Yeah, I agree.
You guys on board with that? Is that same with you guys?
I'm eggs every morning, bro. Every single morning I'm eggs. So I'm all for it.
Yeah.
I've had oats every day for like the last 10 years, probably since I was 30. Now I'm getting to 40s. maybe I've got an old man thing going on. But it's only because of the way that I do them, man. Like I do a little like half scoop of the custard, make them a bit thicker, and then I do like frozen berries, nut butter, and it's just fucking what I've always done. But like, see, for me, I would prefer to keep egg whites over eggs because I have way more egg whites than I do whole eggs.
Yeah, you just go through so many egg whites over but surprisingly, I have for breakfast every morning sardines. I have canned sardines.
Really?
Bro, we got to talk about this. This is
so
sardines every day.
I feel like if anyone's going to take anything from me, is eat one can of sardines a day.
What
calcium you can get from the sardine bones is fantastic. The omega profile through them is excellent. They're cheap. Apparently, you're going to get a better variety of nutrients than actual salmon because conspiracy over here, salmon isn't that good for you because of the way it's caught, blah, blah, blah. And it's and it's consistent. So sardines daily is
Can you tell me how you have them? This has blown my mind. Can you tell me how? I can't imagine you getting up at 5 a.m. and fucking just cracking a can of sardines.
Yeah. There's this brand, this Brunswick brand in olive oil. It's like so smooth, good quality sardines. If you cheap out and get bad sardines, gross. Don't talk to me. It's just rubbish. But if you get the good quality sardines, it's like a delicacy, and it'll change your life. So that's how you got to do.
Yeah, but are you having them with something?
I used to have it just with lettuce, but now I have it with on bread. Bread, spinach, sardines, bowl of yogurt with apple and honey, and an up and go. That's my breakfast.
Wow. See, you're talking about Pepsi Max being for young people. When I think sardines, I think of like my grandfather eating sardines with the bread, right?
Yeah.
And the oil. That's
yes. That's old. It's for old and poor people. Sardines. Like.
It's like, Tommy, we're not in a war anymore, bro.
Yeah, we're not on rations.
Yeah.
I got another one for you. So we spoke about this a couple of weeks ago on the potty. Obviously, you've seen MG hobbling around on his moon boot, right? So for the rest of your life, you had to wear a moon boot or cut off 2 fingers.
You can pick which fingers too, by the way.
Yeah.
Am I injured? Am I injured with the moon boot, or just having a big?
No, you gotta wear it.
Oh, actually, I'd have to go cut off the fingers because even though like I normally do wear rings, you won't be able to wear good shoes.
Yeah.
Right. So you know what? It's funny that you said that. When we went into the city for our lovers weekend, I had some vouchers. I bought a new pair of J's, and when I took them back to the hotel room, I'm like, "Fuck, I can only put one on." And you know what? And I can't wear the other one for 6 weeks. So I reckon your point's very, very valid. Imagine only being able to wear one good shoe. Equally, you can't just buy one shoe, so it's not like you're going to save a ton of money.
Yeah. And I guess trigger alert too. I also wear Crocs, so
yeah. So, hey, do we just officially find the croc wearing, sardine eating bodybuilder?
Yeah, we did. We definitely did. Yeah.
That might have to go in your Instagram bio now, bro. That's just like official. Yeah. We've got to get some t-shirts, mate.
Yeah. So, but they got to be specific Crocs. They've got to be the new ones. There's like the other Crocs, like the normal Crocs, again, are for old people or really old people. But the Crocs, like they've got this spongy, they kind of look like Yeezys. They're trendy. So,
Like,
and also, you guys are prepping season A, right? Both of you?
No.
Is that
no, we're going to do B, yeah.
B? Okay. Crocs for contest prep. Imagine this. You've done 45 minutes on the stepper. You're very low body fat. Your feet are hurting so bad. You slip into a nice pair of Crocs. Any competitor that's had that problem, you try the Crocs in your prep, game changer. Absolute game changer.
You're wearing them to the gym, right?
I walk in them. I walk in them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Do you,
I'm willing to investigate.
okay. But they got holes in them, right? Like your feet
At the
get
top.
cold in winter? You wear socks?
Well, I'll wear socks with them. So, you know.
Man, like, okay, we started off Pepsi Max like you're a young man, but now you're wearing slippers with socks.
Yeah.
You're like old school wog.
Yeah, I feel like it's just coming back. Like slides and socks is definitely a thing, and I'm trying to make slides and Crocs a thing. I mean, so socks and Crocs.
Socks and Crocs, yeah.
Socks and Crocs.
At least it rolls off the tongue. It could work.
Yeah.
You start and I'll follow, bro.
Hey, let's see how many tags we get on the page this week with listeners that wear them. Tag the podcast and tag Tom as well. Let's see how many we get.
Yeah.
I bet there's heaps of people doing it.
It'd probably be like everyone who's about to win their pro card in season A will probably be wearing them.
All right, here's the next challenge. The next comp the three of us attend in season A, we all do Crocs and socks and Crocs.
Oh God.
Yeah, come on.
No, like, okay, no many people know this, but I'm actually pretty superstitious. MG, you know what I wear on comp day and why I wear it, right?
Always the same outfit, always. Doesn't matter if it's 10 degrees or 12 degrees.
Okay.
And I wear the same jeans every single show. People know them as my lucky jeans. I wear them all the time.
Oh, yeah, I love that.
Yeah, lucky jeans, bro.
Junners.
I sometimes think like it's a bit warm today, maybe. Nah, lucky jeans all the time. Do you have any superstitions like that?
From like a comp day standpoint?
Or just anything?
I'm not too superstition. I would say I'm spiritual. Like I do believe in like signs and everything like that.
Yeah.
But I allow it to come to me. I ask for it and it comes to me. It's nothing I really do on a daily basis. Is like superstitious.
Okay.
Just at the WBFF, right? We went on these rides at Movie World, and I was freaking out because I don't like scary stuff. I'm a very boring person. So I put out a sign. I said, if I shouldn't go on this ride, show me water. And nothing happened. So I was like, great. I get on the Superman ride. I get on the Superman ride. I'm locked in. I'm going. And there's a waterfall. I just see it. I start freaking. I'm like, get me off this ride. Get me off this ride. And then as the Superman ride, it just takes off.
Yeah.
So I obviously survive.
Yeah, of course.
I then get off the ride. I get off the ride, check my phone, and Spotify's playing. And there's a song called Water.
There you go. It's provided for you.
Okay.
Yeah, I've actually got some freaking superstitions. I think most of them from my parents, just old school wogs that get them for so many years in front of me. It's not even that I believe anymore. I just have to do them. So like, I can't cut my nails on Fridays. I think that's like from a part of Italy where my mum's from, right? You can't cut your nails on Friday, right? Bad luck. Okay. I can't listen to the radio on an odd number volume.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that one seriously does my head in. Every time I drive past a cemetery, I have to do the sign of the cross.
Yeah, that's old school wog. Yeah.
Yeah, like, but it's not because I'm like crazy religious or anything. It's just my dad did it for so many years growing up. Now it's just almost habitual, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But the one that does my head in is when I'm a passenger in someone's car and the volume's on an odd number. But it's like it's not in my control because it's not my car. And I'm sitting there and I'm itching, man. I'm like, oh shit, what am I going to do here? What am I going to do here?
You know what I'm going to do next time? I'm going to turn the volume and I'm going to look at you while I do it.
I've kind of convinced myself over the years that if I didn't put it on that volume, it doesn't count as my bad luck. So when Meave and I upgraded when we got Maeve's new car, one of the things was like I wanted a car that the volume had a bar, not a number.
Oh, no way.
So it didn't matter anymore. Because if it's a bar, there's no order even, right?
No numbers. I like it.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
So
I've got one more that no one knows about.
Oh, that's okay. This is good.
Okay.
Whenever I walk onto a plane, I need to touch the outside of it as I walk on.
I've caught so many planes with you, and I've not noticed it.
You never noticed it, have you?
No, because you
Oh,
subtle.
Because I do it discreetly. Yeah.
Yeah.
What if you can't? What if you're going through the terminal? It's a
touch
big
it.
plane. You don't get access to touch it, or is it?
No,
Or do
because
you
you
always
always
have
walk
access?
through the door. Like you always go through the door,
So just a
right?
little touch on
So
the top.
you can touch the side, right?
Okay.
You can touch the outside of it. Yeah.
Well, it's never done you dirty. You've always had a safe
Yeah.
flight,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're good.
Or it must be true.
I'm going on a flight tonight. I'll be doing the same thing.
That's good to
Uh,
know.
okay, we got to know you, Tommy. That's good. I want to talk a little bit more about like your coaching and your business and even maybe your competitive career. So obviously, if people are watching on video, they can see your t-shirt that you're wearing with your logo on it. And we're not talking about the Under Armour logo. We're talking about the other one. So do you want to tell us a little bit about peak performance and maybe where it all started and how it's grown?
Yeah, absolutely. So, peak performance, I started in, which is my coaching brand, or our coaching brand. It's not mine. It's collectively all of ours. All the coaches that work with me, because I believe we're all equals, and it's not some hierarchy of a system of the head coach who has it. We're all equals here at Peak. I first started it in 2016, where my kind of coaching journey began before I actually was just doing personal training. So coaching 2016, it all started, and that's actually when I grew a beard. So I was quite young then, and back then it was very frowned upon for anyone young to be coaching. Nowadays, you've got 12-year-olds prepping people. But back then, I literally would have been ridiculed with my little baby face if I didn't have any facial hair. So I grew a beard so that I didn't look as young as I did. So I kind of took peak performance, maxed out my own coaching capabilities, and then found that things are better together. So got a team together of coaches, a male and a female coach, and that's how we kind of divide up the clients that come to us. Through COVID, we really thrived because our presence as a team was really active, and we had like a ton of our clients as a community doing all this stuff from home, tagging each other on Instagram. So we really grew a lot in COVID, which was like a great thing for us. And once that was all said and done, we actually got the HQ started. So where my office is, we have a gym too. So we've created a gym facility, which is pretty much a private facility for me and my clients to train. We do personal training out of here too, but mainly it's like a little den to go and hide away from when you're in prep, so that you can not wait for a machine, have a really good leg workout, kind of learn how to train hard with no eyes watching. And I find that is really good for clients who struggle to get in the zone with everything like that. And then the rest is basically history, where we just started growing. My main thing was to build a reputation as a coach that brings in clients in shape and that coaches people. Similar to when you think of a coach, right? You think of a football coach, an NBA coach, someone who leads a team. Where why in bodybuilding is a coach some first-time competitor bikini girl who's telling you how to live your life. Where for me, I see a coach as someone that you look up to, someone that walks the walk and talks the talk, but also someone that is teaching you things and not telling you. So that's kind of how we put all our information together at Peak, as we teach, we don't tell. And that's how we look at the real coaching. Like, you've got a coach, you've got a real coach, not just someone behind a computer screen that's bodybuilded before. And that's how everything started, and we keep growing from here. We're always wanting to put on, expand the team with our clients, with different federations and things like that. And then for me, as a bodybuilder, so did you say, sorry, did you say something?
Oh, I was about to say, just on Peak still. So when you first started, did you open a facility straight off, or were you working out of another gym and then eventually evolved into open your own facility? Like, how did that work?
Oh, great question. So I started at Anytime Fitness in Dandenong North, and my office was the size of a closet. It was the size of a closet, but I had a freaking office. I was a big dog. Like, I was like so happy with it. I was like, I'm doing well. Eventually, I moved from there, and I actually rented a space. So after that, I had my first staff member. So I went and rented a spot at an office. So we had an office as coaches where our clients would come up an elevator, get greeted by a receptionist, and it was like unheard of in those days, because it was like you go to your coach and he's just at the gym in his basketball shorts and Under Armour top, where we try to like level up really quickly with like this type of service. And then we progressed to a bigger office where we had another staff member. And then it just came down to a tax hack getting this.
Okay.
Honestly, I was going to pay this money as tax, or should I have a facility for my clients? Why not? You know, that's
So
that's reality. Is the only reason I have this.
when you moved to that office, were you no longer doing face to face with those clients, or so it was mostly online and they were coming in for check-ins and things like that?
Well, now they were still coming in. So the office was set up as a consultation room.
Yeah.
I've always done face to face. So my main thing is always being face to face, and I do love face to face. Is to get the client to come in for body fat testing, and just the relationship and bond you can build with a client face to face. I find is like second to none. You get to know someone in so quickly, and I think it is good for people to get to know me really quickly because they'll learn how passionate I am, as opposed to just being fearful of me. Where a lot of people, when they sign up, they're like, "Tom's scary as shit. He's gonna yell at me if I don't hit my calorie exactly." When reality is, I'm on your side. We're a team. If you mess up, I've messed up, and that's how I see the coaching relationship.
Yeah, I love that actually. That's really, really good. Yeah, that it is a team. It's not, you're not like a dictator, right? Yeah.
Yes, that's a great way to put it. Yep, yep.
Yeah. So
Definitely,
did
definitely.
you start from the start wanting to do comp prep, or it kind of evolved into comp prep over time?
I actually never wanted to do. I never set out as my personal training journey to do bodybuilders because it's probably not the best. As you guys know, right? The return on investment on bodybuilders isn't the best because there's so much time goes into them, so much time and passion for the same pay as you do the mum. But I just freaking love bodybuilding so much.
Mm,
I don't care. I put
yeah.
all my time into it. I don't mind. Because at one point I was just training. I was like doing mums, soccer mums at Anytime Fitness. And it just hit me when I was PTing someone and they were talking to me about their husband and they were crying on our PT session. And I'm a young bodybuilder. And I was just like, this isn't me. I
Yeah.
need to do something to get out of here to start, better fulfilling me. And then it just actually led to comp prep. It started with junior bodybuilders because at the time I was quite young. So that attracted other young bodybuilders that went and got coached by me. And then surprisingly, it went to females. I don't know how that happened or when that happened. It then went to females in classic physique.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at now.
I think females is just a large portion of the market, and
Oh
that's
yeah.
why. And we've spoken about this before. And sometimes males aren't as open as to getting a coach or getting advice from other people,
Yep.
especially when it
Yep.
comes to like training, etc. Because it's like maybe like a macho thing or whatever it is.
Yep.
Whereas females are like, I'll do whatever it takes to get the best information to be the best I possibly can. So yeah, it makes complete sense. Anything you want to
Yeah.
add on that, MG, or anything you want to expand on that with Tommy?
No, it's an interesting story. The reason I love it is like how forward thinking you were back then. I actually remember seeing you, man, at a show maybe like in 2007. It was like a Mooney Valley ICN show. It was
Yeah.
like the first time I ever saw it. It was a long time ago. But the thing I love about that is like to take what was so traditional in our industry and put it into a like, all right, actually going to see you in an office space environment as a coach, right? For certainly for like Victoria at that time, that would have been like for sure one of the first people doing it in that type of style, man.
Yep.
One
Yep.
one 100%. Were you if say what you had an athlete at that point that wanted to do a session, did you have a space that you could go and use to do a face to face for an hour to go over technique, or were you just like consult based only?
Yeah, I was consult based only.
Yeah, cool.
A lot of the time I would just train with my clients if they want to, like mostly my male bodybuilder clients, they'd be my training partners at the time. So they'd come and get a workout with me. So much that actually Dermot gave me a life ban. So Dermot Jim actually gave me a life ban when I was training at Pakenham.
Yeah.
As you guys know, like I'm not too confrontational. Like I think everything can be talked about, but they actually banned me because I was training there and I probably had 30 clients that were in the area. They all trained at Dermot because it was a good gym, but no one was going to their personal trainers.
Mm-hmm.
They would just get trained by me and come to my office. So me training there was a great like marketing for me, but I live 2 minutes from it and I would just train there and people would be like, who's that guy? I'm going to get trained by him.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, then one day they sent me an email that said you've got a life ban from Dermot for PTing at there when I've never really PT'd there in my life.
Yeah, you're just training with people. I mean, me and MT have been pulled up, not at Dermot, but at facilities before.
Yeah.
Me and MT, like, we train together regularly, right? So, we've been pulled up for training together, and then also like having some of our clients train together, and we just go and meet them, not train with them at all, actually we're training with us, and get pulled aside and be like, hey, are you guys doing a session? Because people obviously know who we are. Like, absolutely not. We're just training together. And like, we have clients almost in every gym. If we couldn't go and see some clients at some gyms, we would literally never be able to walk into most gyms again. So I totally get it. Equally, I would say, like, if you're training at that facility because that's where you train and your clients are training there too, and you're having sessions and everyone's going to you, maybe they need to look at the model, not necessarily look at you, right?
Yeah. And I mean, I guess their thing was, if you can't beat them, ban them. So
Yeah.
that's what they went with. But it was really good. I was actually like, really, I took it really personally. I was like, I'm unliked. I'm just like, I was like in a
You were
pretty bad
heartbroken a
space
bit,
for maybe 2 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was my gym. But that led to so much opportunities. That was like the biggest clout thing ever. They're like, Tom got banned from Dermot. He's doing this. And I perform better when I'm like a bit
back against the wall.
Yeah.
Back against the wall. I built this gym like pretty much like, you know what, Dermot? Look at this. Like, what are your PTs doing?
Yeah. No, I agree, man. Sometimes adversity is just what you need.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. The gym that I train at, I've got a bunch of clients that train there too, and I'm mindful of it too. Like, I know there's PTs around and at the gym, and I'm like, I don't want to step on any toes because I know they're paying rent, right? So I don't want to make it look like I'm PT anyone. But yeah, I get clients coming, oh, Michael, what does this mean? I'm like, yeah, okay, go use that, do this, or I might demo it for them, but that's it. I'm really, really cautious of it too, because
but I also think that gym is smart enough to know that a lot of your clients train there because of you.
That's right.
So they're reasonably close, and they know that's where a lot of your team trains. So they want to train close to their teammates. So like, ultimately, I think it's about exercising a little bit of common sense as well. And it's like, if Trimboli's in there 5 days a week, and every time he's with someone different and he's spending the whole hour with them, but if he's just answering a question here and answering a question there, and ultimately he's bringing new members, I mean, I think you're a blessing to them.
Yeah. I guess not everyone's that business minded too. They're kind of just looking at, again, back to the toxicity of the industry. If you're losing, I'm winning. That's the reality of it all. So someone's got to suffer for someone to win. As opposed to everyone winning,
Yeah, exactly. All right. So do you want to then take us through maybe your competitive journey?
Yes. Okay. So I started my first comp prep when I was 17. I'm 17 years old. I started my bodybuilding journey all through high school. I didn't really, unfortunately, I didn't take high school too seriously because I wanted to be a bodybuilder. So I'll just go to high school to eat my meals and to just chill out and read bodybuilding magazines.
Wow.
So as soon as I finished high school, then, contest prep started. I then moved myself to Doherty's Gym Dandenong and embarked on contest prep to be a bodybuilder. I competed in 2012, which was my first show, at the NABA WFF International Championships. Got first place in the teenage division. So the next year I did it again, took out the teenage division, and then went and did the Southern Hemispheres, which was a thing back then in Queensland. It was like the Nationals, called the Southerns. So I did that. I then took a 12-month break or 18-month break, came back and did the Victorian state titles, so I was juniors now, so I was 20, went to the junior titles, won the junior titles, then I did the national titles, won the juniors at nationals, and then I did the world championships and came 5th.
Wow, that's amazing.
So that was my junior career. I then came back for one more year after that, and I had planned to do 3 shows and actually the world championships in Brazil. But for some reason, I couldn't hold on. I couldn't hold on for that prep. So I just ended up doing the Bendigo Classic. If you guys remember when the Bendigo Classic was a thing, Bendigo Classic, I think it was Glenn's show, and then the state titles. So did all that. And then my adult life began. Then I bought a house, then I moved out. Then I was like an adult and I started having a real job, which is, I guess, coaching calls a real job. Real job and like a house to look after. So I put all my focus actually from that point, from 2015 onwards, into building peak. And every ounce of my life went to my clients and to making this work. Fast track to 2023, which is now, my prep has started for next year's season 8. So I've taken all this long to nail business, and I really feel like I've nailed my ability to be a coach. Now it's time to do what I've always wanted to do and live my life on my terms and get back on stage. So
Awesome,
I'll be
man.
back on stage in April for the first time in many years.
And how old will you be for your return?
I'll be 30. I'll be 30.
You're in your prime, mate.
Yeah, still in your prime.
Yes.
Wait till you get to Coke Zero age, man.
Oh, yeah. I might crack one during contest prep, or maybe one will do that after. But yeah, I'll be 30 for that. And it doesn't make sense, but I'll be doing classic physique first timers. I mean, I don't know if that's okay, but apparently classic physique first timers is, even though I'm 30, but I'll be doing, first timers, novice, and open classic physique for IFBB. And then the whole reason why this plan, right? So I don't know if this is an announcement, but Matt's going to be doing his first pro show in the first half of the year.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
And we want to compete and travel together. Me as an amateur, him as a pro. For me, that's a dream, is being able to go to my client's pro show and maybe do the amateurs there at the same time, and being backstage together with your client, with you. He's my co-worker and one of my best friends. So that's going to be an excellent thing when we do a US tour for him to get on stage and do some things. So,
well, man, you know what's hilarious? All of Maddie's show announcements have happened on this podcast.
They have.
Yeah. Yeah, when he was kind of about to do the prep for the season that he won the pro show, was kind of in it, but had an announcement. Remember, I got him to guest pose at yeah. So I knew at that point, but kind of no one else did. Everyone's like, "Oh, he's supposed to be in off season. Why is he looking so freaking shredded?" Right?
Yeah.
You just announced his next one, man. It's just a ritual.
Yeah. We don't know which one, so I'll let him put on his YouTube about what show it is. But maybe we'll both be because your show is going to be 1 week before the big title, so me and Matt will be guest posing there for you.
That's awesome, man.
So good,
And believe me, what you said to me and MT makes perfect sense. Our next show, everything around our next show has been to coordinate it together, because we've been best friends for so many years. We've coached side by side for so many years. We've always been in prep in different seasons. So for us, the next time we both stand on stage, it had to be together. That was like a non-negotiable.
Yeah.
So we totally get why that would make sense. For you guys, it's a little bit different, I suppose, because he's going to, he's going to do an international show, gives you the opportunity to do an international show too. And I reckon that's absolutely awesome, man.
Yeah. So
tell us this, man. Just what's it like working with the great Matty O? He's obviously a big friend of the show. So
it's so good working with someone who understands me and I understand him. Where we have this thing when it's leg day and someone walks in and we just train legs, all you get is a. And if you don't get a bro hug, they're just train legs. Leave me alone. I'm gonna go eat. I'll come out of my office when it's better. So
you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to rock up on a legs day when you're in the gym. I'm going to try to get a better reaction from you. I'm going to wear my Crocs, right?
Yep.
Pepsi Max in the hand.
Yep.
Sardines in the other hand. If I don't get any more than a bro, how you doing?
You'll be heartbroken.
Yeah.
If you want to trap a Tom Rodriguez, just put that in a little hole. I'll just come creeping out. I'll just go there, get my Pepsi, my sardines, and my Crocs. And you got me.
That's it. We know now.
I'm easy persuaded.
We know. I'm looking forward to being backstage at an NBA, an ICN show, whatever. And I just smell. Is that fish? Is that someone? And then I turn around and there he's cracked his can of sardines. He's got the bread out.
Dipping the bread. But you know what? Yeah, might be too many fats for that close to comp if it's season A, but I'll try and keep them in there just as best as possible for you guys.
You know what's so funny? I had a really similar competitive journey to you. My first ever show was 2011, so a year before your first ever show. But then again, the same thing happened, right? Just life got in the way, worked on business, relationships, buying a house, career, etc. And then my return to stage was last year. So I had a similar gap to you. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. And that's what a lot of people don't realize is you don't need to, you need some good experience with bodybuilding, but you don't need to be actively competing to stay relevant. Just be a good coach. Be a good coach for your athletes. You don't need to get on stage every year and just show your face as a coach. You need to show up for your clients, not just be competing for clout and stuff like that. And I think that's awesome. That's what you've done is you've built everything from you as a person, not the bodybuilder version of you. It's you as an amazing coach, not having to stay relevant in any terms of that. And all of us, we've all done that. The big gap, and all good coaches do that. And then when it's time, you go back to doing what you love most, which for us actually get on stage, which is a bit psychotic, but
yeah, man. I gotta say, man, like I get so much more joy on comp day when I'm not competing. I much prefer the process of coaching. And like if you see me when one of my athletes is on stage and I know that, they've been putting their heart and soul into it, I'm nervous. Sometimes even Tony from ICN on the mics, will call me out from the stage because he sees me being all nervy and stuff. And he's like, hey, Michael, relax whilst the show's going on. So I'm well known for being very nervous for my athletes. But man, I've always just found that I get so much satisfaction from that competing, I love it, but I'm more than satisfied as long as I get to continue coaching.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's,
I think
I would next coach.
You raise a really good point there about, people that are trying to get into coaching, they think they need to look a certain way, be a good competitor, and they think that what's going to bring them business is how they physically look or how they physically go on stage in their placings. Like they need to be a pro to be the best coach. We look at all the best coaches in the industry, none of them are top level amazing competitors or even active competitors anymore. So it goes to show that if you want to be a great coach, you need to put your heart and soul into your coaching, not into your aesthetics and your bodybuilding career, because that only brings you so much. It actually just brings you experience, doesn't really bring you clients.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's good to have an understanding of, what your team are going through, but you don't need to be doing that all the time. I think for most people, if you invested far more time into your systems, your process, your methodology, your back end stuff, your admin, and also what Tom said at the start, which, I'm a big advocate for, your team, the people around you, that's really where the real success lies. And then all of a sudden you get to a position where, you've got a team of 3, 4, 5 coaches and you're able to go back and compete because the pressure's off you a little bit.
Yeah. I swear by that. If any advice for someone starting off with their coaching, build your team, because it's like I've built the Avengers around me. Around me when I started. I don't know if you guys have seen Kayla, short redhead. She runs peak. I would be 60 kilograms and probably zero muscle. I wouldn't have eaten through comps. I wouldn't have slept if it wasn't her for making sure I'm here on time. She tells me when I need to leave for comp day for maps, tells me when I need to eat on a comp day. She throws food at me, does everything here. Without Kayla, peak would not be peak. It'd just be like Tom Rodriguez fitness. It would just be like, I'd be an absolute wreck. And I wouldn't be the person I am for my clients as emotionally available if she didn't help me with sorting everything out. So I almost just like work in the business now. I'm just a coach in it where she does everything with my tax and stuff like that. And then obviously having Maddie and also Tay, who's our female coach, they help me so much that I don't think I could do a contest prep if it wasn't for them, because they're gonna carry me, and I know that, and I'm so blessed to have them around. We even have Mitch, our photographer, who does all my content. And MG, you met him at the ICN about doing some of your backstage stuff.
Nice guy, man.
Media, he's an absolute man with content and stuff like that. So I'm blessed to have an awesome team. So to anyone like starting off, like everyone's better together. Collaborate, do things, be nice, shake hands, introduce yourself. It only makes it better for everyone.
Yeah, I think it's nice to see also, man, that there's really no ego with you. Like, you've done a great job to build this up to where it is, and you're still, happy to sit here and say it's all them, which is awesome. Yeah. And I believe that you truly do feel that way. I can tell you're appreciative because I've known you for a while now and I know how you are. So it says a lot about you. But I definitely agree about how important team is. Obviously, I've kind of got Meave is that for me, and then we've got some amazing coaches, Cole especially, who helps to keep me running. Was it always for you, the long-term goal was it I'm gonna have peak and then I want to have 10 coaches that work for us? Like, is there is there bigger plans? Do you have anything else in the pipeline that you guys have sat down and said, hey, let's set this as an objective for, say, by 2025 or something?
Yes, absolutely. We've been like, I think it was 2 days ago, we just had a meeting regarding with the team of where we want to go and what we need to do to keep growing and to keep this industry standard up. We could get stagnant. We could be like, we've got a facility, we've got a good team of coaches, we could do well, but everyone and everything is constantly growing and evolving, and we need to stay up with that. We acknowledge that. We're about to launch our app, our peak performance app, so that's going to be a lot easier for our clients. I'm sure Bolly will talk about how that at the WBFF with doing that. So we've dropped the hammer with that, and we'll have our app done so we can work more efficiently. We can see more clients, and on top of that, I'm always looking to mentor clients to work for Peak. I have this bigger picture of, still coaching, but stepping away from it a little bit and leaning more into mentoring of how to prep coach and creating a peak performance certificate. With that, I want to provide coaches insurance that as a coach, you can get insurance if you do an actual sports nutrition course and you do my 12-week kind of thing of making sure to give your client water on show day, making sure that keto isn't the only way to do things. Like just these little things that
so like some kind of minimum industry standard sort of.
Yes, yeah. I would absolutely love to create an industry standard for coaching, because I'm still disgusted in going to shows, specific shows, and seeing certain coaches doing silly things, salt depleting, water depleting on natural athletes. Oh, come on, guys. Like, it's just getting old now of how dangerous it is. And I actually don't think these federations, bar A and B, because you're obviously in the trenches too, know that some people are putting their life on the line.
Yeah.
So who's going to stop that? And I want that to be me.
Yeah, I know, man. You're absolutely. I suppose the frustrating thing about it is so much time has passed now, and there's so much information available that for some of these coaches, it really doesn't take long to work this stuff out. There's so much research online. There's also so many great coaches who talk about it all the time, but yet we still see, some of these crazy methodologies that present themselves. I mean, you've probably heard a couple, our episode that was, probably 30 or 40 weeks ago now, where we brought up that plan that, had, 3 days worth of nonstop laxatives and teas and this and all these crazy, So like that type of stuff is still out there, but it's not hard to do some research and realize that, there's much better methodology. Do you think it just comes down to stubbornness? Is it laziness? Like, what do you boys think is the reason why we're not seeing changes from people who are still using these crazy methods?
So my idea is it comes from the coaches who rely on their physique to do the talking. So you could get this genetic freak who looks really good. He's a pro in whatever federation, and his silly coach got him to deplete water. And it worked really well because he could be probably fed sawdust and laxatives and look full, round and dry. Where mere mortals like us, if we do that, we're probably going to have a heart attack, we're probably going to have a headache all comp day and maybe pass out on stage. Yeah. We can't do that. So I think it's just bro science. It gives it to a person. And he's like, it worked for me. It'll work for... It worked for me. I'm a 120 kilo bodybuilder. It'll work for this 50 kilo bikini girl. And it doesn't work out like that. It just doesn't.
I think the thing that comes up a lot, and you can dispel this myth for us now, right? One of the things that we hear a lot is, it's the methodology that, the enhanced coaches are using. But I'm like, no, I know a lot of good enhanced coaches, and they're not using these types of methods. You coach a lot of enhanced athletes, and people, the listeners can hear now, this is not like methodology that you're using. So it's not an enhanced style of coaching, is it?
No, it's not. Like laxatives is okay. I'm going to be honest. There's I've seen so many plans from these natty gurus, and what they're doing is laxatives, anti-estrogens, and diuretics. Like, I'm disgusted by seeing what some of these guys are doing. I knocked back a client because she wanted to compete, and she wanted to compete in a natural federation, and she's done a cycle. She's used Clem, but her old coach said it was okay in the off season. Yeah. It's just enhanced coaches aren't doing that to their natural athletes. It's the natural coaches who are like, I know the way to cheat the system, who are just doing silly things and so disrespectful to those who are truly natural and working their asses off.
Yeah. And I think it's hard, and we've covered this before, like from the natural federation's point of view. I think I sort of gave some really rough numbers as to, what the testing costs as a rough guide. If we're to do, say, a urine sample, get a nurse, and then test, 10 athletes at, say, 300 or $350 a pop by the time it gets sent off, you're talking 3 or 4 grand and you've only tested 10. If you've got 80 athletes that day, it's almost like the show would, barely cover itself.
Yeah.
But what I think needs to happen is exactly what you said, man. There needs to be some sort of minimum standard that the federations and the coaches implement together. It's like, all right, you need to attend this, which was created by, coaches that are respected. You need to attend this course and be able to answer at least these 20 questions. Otherwise, you can't enter an athlete into our show.
Yeah. That would be a dream, wouldn't it? That would be awesome.
Like, it could be as simple as that, right?
Absolutely. And
like, if you tick the box that, yes, you need to sodium and water deplete, guess what? You can't compete at our federation anymore.
Yeah.
Seriously, if you say sardines are bad, you can't compete at our federation anymore. If you don't wear Crocs, you can't compete at our federation anymore. That's it. Simple, man. But maybe that's.
I'll be rocking up to A&B this year with Crocs.
I want to see Crocs everywhere.
Well, honestly, show anyway. I was really impressed with what A&B did with their drug testing. I was honestly impressed with who they picked, how they picked them. I'm a huge bodybuilding fan as well. And your co-promoter, what was her name?
Jen.
It's amazing, absolutely amazing as well. Backstage, hands-on, things like that. But yeah, how you did the drug testing on A&B Victoria Tales was amazing. The best I've ever seen. Truly.
Yeah. Look, we picked some people that didn't win and that were not happy that they were being picked because they're like, we actually had someone say to us, well, why are you picking me? I didn't win. So what that says to me is, and this is something for all federations, is that the expectation is that, oh, well, if I don't win, I'm not going to get tested. But I think what needs to happen is, if it's random, make it random. And I think what we did that day is, we picked some winners, definitely, but we also picked some just people that, in my opinion, I thought looked sus. So and that's what the whole point is. So I don't think that, the expectation is that federations are able to test everyone, but I think putting a sign on the door, and putting not a single person, like anyone can print the drug testing sign and not walk anyone in there. So it just needs to be, a minimum standard that you're going to meet a certain amount of tests and let the people who are competing and the coaches know, hey, we're going to do 10 tests today. And then say, here's the 10 people that we tested.
I think, going back to what you were saying about, creating an industry standard, a certificate, or something that, if you have this, it shows that you know what you're doing and you're a trusted and respected coach, and that's someone that, someone can look up to and someone that would employ as their coach to be. The only problem is the industry's so big that I don't think you ever get to a point where everyone has that, or the majority of people are those certified coaches. It's so big. There's always new coaches every day, and they have so much great social media presence, marketing, and there's a lot of naive people out there that don't know what to look for in a good coach, that you're never going to get the majority of coaches being good coaches, which is sad, because for us, we'd love everyone to be an absolutely amazing coach, because again, as I said before, there's enough clients to go around. We can all eat, right? We can all have a good business. So it's not that we don't want this. It's just very, very difficult to have everyone at that level and that standard. And the reason why we want that is because we want everyone to have a great experience. We don't want anyone to get hurt, firstly, right? But also, too, is we want people to walk away from a show and be like, that was the best thing I ever did. I'm going to tell all my friends about it to make sure everyone else does it, and I'm going to do it again too, so we can grow the industry. But it's going to be difficult to grow the industry if people aren't having a good experience.
Yeah. I mean,
I think we've all. Sorry, man. I was going to say, I think we've all taken on new people that have told us some horror stories, and had we not have got them when we did, potentially would never have been in the industry. And then these people have gone back and done it properly and won overalls and pro cards, and they were nearly lost athletes.
Well, speaking of horror stories, I've got an incredible horror story that myself, which I didn't know. which I got told to do when I was a little bit younger. And I didn't know until I went and sat down with my last coach to say, hey, this is my last peaking protocol. How can we do better? Is I actually drank 20 liters of water the day before the show. 20,
Wow,
2-0.
How's that even possible?
the most I've ever seen is 11. That's huge, man. That's
You tell me and I'll freaking do it. You know what I mean? Like I'll do it. I'll do what I got to do. And I was just so young. I was so young. I look back now and I went, why did I had a split lip for 6 months after. I had cracked lips. I had so much water retention. I'd messed myself up from 20, and it wasn't just tap water. Because tap water, it would be a little bit better because at least there'd be minerals in that. It was steamed water. It was that Pura Vida water, box water.
Of course it was.
This is great.
I remember walking to the show because it was in Queensland and it was like at a casino and I had to walk the show holding the side rails because my feet were just hurting. I look back there, I was like, damn, I'm lucky to be alive after that.
Yeah, you are, bro. You are.
Yeah.
So chuck that on the list with the Crocs, 20 liters of water. Give me some box water.
Oh man, far out. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy.
This is why it's also good, right? Like the three of us, we don't sit here and say that we've had like perfect histories. The point is like we've all seen some shit and lived through it and like are now smart enough to make sure that nobody else goes through the same thing.
Yeah. I think it's a blessing. The issues that I had and me being a subpar bodybuilder was so good for my clients because I've learned how to troubleshoot. I've learned how to build legs. I've had how to build a chest because nothing's too big for me. I've just work ethic. That's all I got. So I've had to go through every digestive issue, everything that could possibly come from bodybuilding. I've had the issue with, so I've learned to fix it. So now when a client has that problem, it's like, bang, this is what I did. This is how we fix it. ASAP. Let's get to it.
So we have a lot of people that listen to this podcast who want to be coaches or are current coaches but want to get into comp prep coaching. So if you were starting fresh and you just got your Cert 3-4, right? Mm. What would be your kind of next steps into becoming the person that you are now today?
Okay, absolutely. So it would be recognizing, like, first of all, who you want to become. What type of coach would you like to become? Where would you like to specialize in, and how would you like to do it? Because in reality, we all have the same methods, right? We all do the same right things. It's just we all are a different type of coach. Mm-hmm. We've got, like, some people are the friend coach, some people are the leader coach, some people are the motivating coach, some people are the glute coach. Figure out what type of person you want to be and what you want to attract is number one. The other one is don't get caught up on silly little things. And I know this might sound bad with your peak performance stuff is as a business name and a website. Get good at what you do before you go, I need social media presence. Get good at coaching and then go build up your social media, your reels, your stuff like that. Because cool, you have a banger reel and it goes off, you get a couple million views. You're gonna have some people come to you, but you're gonna lose them because you suck. So getting good and investing in your knowledge is number one of the sport. It's like knowing what you're doing. And just as importantly, be personable, know how to talk to people, know how to bring someone's best out of them, know how to bring their demons up in the gym, know how to calm them down. Being in tune with your athletes is something that's also very important. So learning, like, the knowledge side of bodybuilding, the water, the carb loading, the training, the volume, and then also, like, how do I relay the plan? How do I relay the plan to Susie, who's a sensitive bikini girl, to Bob, who's like a macho, egotistic bodybuilder? How do I tell them what to do? And does it need to be different? And I guess, so upskilling in that is absolutely super important. And then, of course, not getting caught up on silly things like designing the perfect website. Just get good.
Yeah.
So
me and MT, we say all the time, right? Just start. Coach everyone and anyone that you can. Doesn't matter what their goal or background is. Even if 50% of them you love every session and the other 50 you really struggle with it because it's not your ideal type of client, it doesn't matter. You're going to learn something from all of those people. And all of a sudden, you get one of those clients who, wasn't your ideal client, and you're able to transform them and build a special relationship for them. That's where you learn the most. So my best piece is always just start and take on everything and anyone that you can.
Yeah, I think we've had that question so many times: is what course do I do? How do I educate myself? And we've kind of thrown out some ebooks and maybe a course here or there, but it's because that kind of just sets some kind of foundation of not doing anything stupid, right? But really, all your learning comes from doing. So we say, look, just know enough so you're not going to hurt anyone and do anything dumb, right? And then from there, all your knowledge comes from doing. And then, yes, of course, comp prep is very specific. There's some nuances there. You know, you've got to maybe get a mentor, listen to podcasts, maybe do the peak performance course, like that kind of stuff, right? So, but you're going to get most of your knowledge out of doing, especially the coaching and the art of coaching aspect. There's no book that teaches you the art of coaching. You just need to do it, and you need to do it with multiple people that come from all different backgrounds and all different personality types that have different goals and operate all differently. So, yeah, learn from doing is probably one of the most important ones.
Yeah, man, absolutely, absolutely. You'll remember the first diabetic client that you got, right? It was so hard to manage, and then now diabetic comes to you, you're kind of like, well, this is what I've experienced, blah blah blah, or you know, you got an enhanced client that's using insulin. You just know so much after you've worked with someone with a problem, and it's so cool to learn. It's so cool to learn. As long as you don't be egotistical, a client comes to you with PCOS, and you're like, I'm an expert in it. I know everything about it. It's like, you be honest. You say, honestly, I've never worked with anyone like this, but leave it to me. Let me go do some research, and I'll get back to you.
Yeah, 100%. So you work with males and females. Do you know what percentage male/female?
Oh, it's really close right now. It's honestly it's like a really close. Probably like 6 months ago, it was like predominantly females for a long time. Now the classic physique rush has come in. A lot of classic guys have come in. So I would say it's still female dominant, as any coach would be. Yeah, maybe like a 55% to 60% females. So not a crazy, where I think it would have been 30-70 at one point to females.
And out of all your clients that you have, how many of them are comp prep?
All but maybe 7.
Okay, wow. So majority, large majority. Yeah.
I will only take on Gen Pop, a non-competitor, if we really align and they love my personality, love my approach to things, and they understand me and I understand them. But my passion truly lies at comp prep and bodybuilding, and generally those 7 is going to be your gym junkie guys or girls who are like, I love the physique side of things, I just don't want to get on stage. So that's probably the only other ones that I don't do, but they'll all be like bodybuilding orientated clients now, which took me so long. I didn't rush to it. I sifted through someone that the banker that wanted to lose some weight or things like that. But I didn't go, all right, I can only take bodybuilding. I threw the shit at the wall, saw what stuck, and it ended up being all bodybuilders.
I think we all did that. We all started with a mixture of both. Yeah. And then as we started to niche down, it then became majority of one type, for sure.
Yeah.
So
is that same as you guys? What would you guys say like your average from a competitor, non-competitor is now?
For me, it's majority of competitors. I could probably only count on one hand the ones that aren't. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm probably 80%, and I probably up to 10 that are non. But yeah, because Meave and I have the gym as well, so we do a few bits of other pieces. But yeah, pretty much everything that I do now is competitive based, and I'm probably like a 60-40 split with males and females. I was definitely female dominant early on, but yeah, the guys are definitely been stepping up of late.
Yeah.
But I've told the story on the potty before, and MT knows as well. Like MT and I were both working in the bank once upon a time, and I started by. I'm only saying this because you wouldn't have heard this story. Meave and I opened up a facility because it's what we always wanted to do. And I started doing $40 PT sessions on a Sunday because I had no one.
Whoa.
So I would work at the bank during the week, and then on the weekends I would do the gym on a Sunday with whoever I could get who was like, oh, $40, that's cheap. I'll start with him. Yeah. And then that's eventually what built into what it is today. So
that's awesome. I love that. It's very wholesome. You just try to make it work, and look where you are now. You made it work. That's beautiful. We love that.
Yeah, thanks, bro.
So I don't coach any males, right? So I'm going to ask you both this question. I'll start with you, Tommy. Who's easier to coach out of a male and female? But let's put it into two things. Let's put it from building just a plan, like, you know, building a training program, nutrition plan, male and female? Which one's easier to create? And then which one's easier to coach, male or female?
From a standpoint of tinkering with the plan, right? Bikini's freaking hard because of the criteria of when their quads get too big, you can't be training them. When the delts are too round, you got to scale back. And I hate doing that. I do it anyway, but I hate scaling back on building muscle. And that sometimes has to be done for bikini. So it's almost like a little more attention goes into the bikini girls because you got to really do it. Where with my male guys, not too many of them, besides Matt as an amateur, are close to their classic physique weight. And interesting with the ICN and AMB, I don't think you guys, there's actually no height weight requirement, so it doesn't matter. But say with IFBB, if you got to cut weight, like I'm in a tricky situation right now, I've got to cut weight too much. That's gonna be tough. But like for a male, let's just get as big and round and keep the waist tight as possible. So
yeah,
programming standpoint there. From a mindset and coachability, I feel like even females are easier for me because the type of females that come to say peak are ones who have kind of know our background with training, and we're all about hard training. Like hard training is our thing. You're not going to come here if you want to do fluffy glute kickbacks and only isolation stuff. You're going to come here if you want to get strong with a hack squat. If you want to be deadlifting, if you want to be doing the hard stuff, you're going to come with me.
Yeah.
So those girls are already clued up with their mindset of training. I'm like, I'm going to train hard. I'm going to suffer. I'm going to do all these things. So right now, I would say like the girls they're taking over with their mindset. They're so mentally strong. They're in such a great place. So hats off to them.
Well, you know what? On this potty, we've got a saying, intensity creates density. So when it comes to training, we're all about training hard. So we definitely align on that, Tommy, for sure.
Yeah, that's what makes the biggest change to anything is training. You can train over any. Training is most important for anything. How that's done is got to be pinpoint.
So what about UMG? Who is the easiest to create a plan for, male or female? And who is the easiest or hardest to coach?
Yeah, guys are the easiest to create a plan for, no doubt about it. And so like basically for some of the points that Tommy raised, right? You don't have to take out chest. You don't need to worry about, making sure that the shoulders and the glutes are going to hit an extra aim. And if you've got, a female that's got like really maybe small glutes, but already really big shoulders. For guys, typically it's like, all right, I'm going to set this minimum volume allotment because we're just trying to get you pretty much bigger everywhere. Maybe your chest is a little bit weaker, so we're going to put a little bit more into your upper chest, and the rest is pretty standard, right? So definitely guys are much easier to program for. I feel like for me, the reason why I find females really easy to work with is because they give you so much information. So doing the check-ins is really easy for me. I find them really easy. I send, 10-minute videos every week, no matter what phase we're in, with no hassles whatsoever because they've given me so much during the week. Whereas with guys, I know me and Trimboli are the same. When me and MT do our check-ins, how's training? Good. How's nutrition? Good. How's your recovery this week? Great. So like, and that's what I get off a lot of the guy clients is, pretty just basic responses, which is fine. They're going through the process, everything's good. But I like information, I like feedback because it allows me, I think, to give more back. And you know me, I love to talk at the best of times. So if you give me more information, that provides me an opportunity to give you a little bit more back. That to me is an easy process and experience. So for that reason, I'll say I probably find it easier to coach females.
Yeah. I had this, and I won't say which coach told me this, but they coach males and females.
Yeah.
And they said that guys are more sooks than girls. So girls can push through tougher times and guys just complain.
Yeah,
Do you,
man,
do you want to admit that?
I've said this to you before. Actually, we might have even had this conversation, but, I've got some mum competitors who have grinded through some tough preps with, single mums, kids trying to juggle everything, going in and training at 4 a.m., who probably gave less, negative feedback towards the process than some people who have really got nothing going on other than their job and prep.
Yeah.
So I think that specifically, females do have the ability to really grind it out. And that's why, I got nothing but love and respect for anyone who goes through a prep journey and gives 100%. But, there's definitely something to be said. I've seen that females probably are willing to push through more difficult situations and continue than potentially males. But again, there's always individual cases. But I mean, I've had some fucking tough mums, man.
Yeah.
Like, hats off to the mums. Like, I've prepped some seriously tough mums, and this is why I'm impressed. I haven't prepped tough mums that were just about to get their pro card. I'm talking about mums that have never stepped on stage before, who maybe had only started their training journey 12 to 18 months ago, who were coming from a composition that was so far away from what anyone would have considered to be a competitive physique, that have got themselves on stage and presented really, really well. Whether they won or not, it doesn't matter. But I'm talking about the people that have come from that starting place. That impresses the fuck out of me, man.
Yeah.
That's the best part of it, man, seeing that change and everything of how hard they work. And that's what makes you guys such great coaches, because you turn okay athletes into amazing athletes, as opposed to those coaches who take great athletes into amazing. They just do the little bit. A lot of us, we work with the young people, the first timers, and then make them a champion, as opposed to the sneaky Instagram message, "Hey bro, looking good, need a coach." You know those guys?
Man. One of my girls this week who I work with, she's a phenomenal athlete. She was with a different coach. Things didn't go well. I took over. We shut everything down, and then we started from scratch again. Right. And now everything's going amazing. She's doing a great job. She's working her ass off, but she deserves all this success. She's got a couple of cheeky DMs last week. Hey, if you're ever looking to jump on a new team, and she made me laugh. She showed me the message, and she's like, "Yeah, now that you've done all the fucking hard work."
We have spoken about this before on the potty, Tom. That you have a good coach is someone that can turn someone that's ordinary to extraordinary, right? And do it with all different variety of people from different ages, different backgrounds. Look for those coaches that have done that, right? So when you're investigating, make sure that you see who is the coach that actually did the transformation, not the coach that is just putting the cherry on top of an already amazing athlete. Yeah. And I've had some coaches actually reach out to some clients and slide into the DMs that are doing that tricky business, where they get the clients that are already absolutely amazing, and all they need to do is just maintain that, or maybe just slightly improve it, which is very easy. Once you have a client or an athlete that is a true athlete and a true competitor, that really it's just about making sure that they execute the plan, which they always normally do with no dramas. That's an easy client to coach, and we know people have those kind of clients. So
yeah, and only those clients, and then they're doing all the background work of coaching and things like that. And me and Matt see it a lot, especially with the younger generation, is we put that time in to mentor them about bodybuilding and the lifestyle. And then it's like, oh, this guy's got a new drug protocol I want to know about. They're going to go to see him because he posts about the new phase of trend, of everyone using trend. So, this guy gets his client trend, is going to go towards him. It's just, whoever's got the thing that sells right now, they all flock. But I think it's a good opportunity, especially for young people, to go and try another coach, as long as they don't have any harm, so they can experience what they like.
Mm-hmm.
It's good to do that. The grass is always greener on the other side. You're going to go try someone might not think, oh, well, we're too basic. My coach didn't starve me of water. Maybe there's a trick of starving water. Maybe I'll be drier if my coach nearly puts me in hospital. So I'm going to go inquire of this person.
Yeah,
go try it. And we'll take you back with open arms as always. But
one of the things that I say in a lot of my check-ins, and my team know, it's like, nothing fancy this week, which is great, right? Nothing fancy. We're not going to do anything ridiculous, because guess what? We don't need to. Everything's working. And I always say, and I talk about this regularly, it's like, I know for a lot of athletes, every week when that check-in comes, it's like, I hope there's a change. Is there more steps? Is there more? And sometimes if everything's going great and nothing changes, that as an athlete, you should be happy when that happens. If everything's going beautifully and your coach doesn't need to implement anything, guess what? That's the fanciest move of all. That to me is fucking fancy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think some coaches, and I think it back to myself when I was first starting, sometimes you feel pressured to make a change.
For sure.
They are paying
for sure.
Service. So it's like, how do I tell them? And what I learned is you just tell them that teach them why you don't need them. This is why you don't need to do anything, because you're doing freaking amazing. And if I was to change, it was just to make you more excited about a change. And that's the same with training. Do you guys rotate training often, or do you get people to stick to a plan and get good at it for a while?
I get my people to stick to it, man.
Yep.
And when I do make changes, let's say I've got a 5-day program, man, I'm changing 2 exercises a day. Like why when you're just getting good at freaking RDLs, am I going to pull them out? You just got to your best position. It's like, guess what? RDLs are coming out. It's like, fuck, man, it's the best that movement's ever been. People change things far too often, man.
Yeah.
And it's like they've made that an industry standard. So people will come to us, I guess all three of us, and be like, oh, do I get a monthly training plan? I'm like,
monthly. I get that. Yeah, you get monthly. It's like, nah.
What? And first of all, like when you get a new training plan, it takes you about 2 to 3 weeks to get used to the sequencing. And then you're going to progress for about 8 weeks. And then you're going to plateau for about 2 weeks. Then you're going to push through the plateau. And now the fun begins. That's 18 weeks later. And let's hope we can go for it more. I mean, people, I say to a client, you not enjoying your training plan is a you problem. What you should fall in love with is making progress. I do sympathize with those who fully don't enjoy it. So I will sympathize with that and like change some things and help them enjoy something a bit more. But let's just get used to making results. Like, let's just make results. That's what you come to me for. Let's do it. Let's not have fun.
Success in bodybuilding is just doing monotonous tasks over and over and over again, consistently for a long period of time. If you're looking for something sexy and exciting, bodybuilding is not the sport for you.
No, that's what Crocs are for, man. If you're looking for something sexy, that's what Crocs are for, bro. That's
CrossFit. Crocs. CrossFit, you'll get a new workout every day. Go sign up at a CrossFit gym or whatever, the box gym or whatever they call them. That's fun. You want a new workout? Yeah, go do some handstands and cartwheels. That's fun.
Yeah, and then get an injury and then wish you never did it. Yeah.
You know what's really fun? Winning a national title.
Yeah,
So go for that. Go for that national title.
Yeah, definitely. We're going to finish where we started.
Right.
I'm going to give you a this or that question, which we did a long time ago, MG. Let's see if you remember it. It's a bit of a philosophical question. So, would you rather $10 million or 10 years back of your life?
Straight away 10 years back, because I know I could make more than $10 million if 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I just know it. And I could spend more time with loved ones, things like that. But yeah, I'm confident that the 10 mil will be made. But do I get to keep my memory of the 10 years?
We did say yes, you could.
We did say yes.
We all said the same thing. But I'm going to change my answer. I'm going to take the money now because I just want to go and buy a lot of Lego.
What about the first drop of Crocs?
Man, you could become the official releaser of the Crocs.
Man, if like Jordans did like a cross collab with Crocs, you guys would you'd lose your mind.
Maybe we should just do it.
I mean, I can only wear one of them, but that's.
Tommy, it was awesome to have you on. Thank you for spending the time. I'm going to miss you because there's no shows coming up, bro. So we're.
That's the thing that people understand. We really get to hang out when we have shows. So
we'll have to tee up a session. We got Maddie and Mel down last season. We caught up for a session. We'll come down your way. We'll come down your way and we'll go somewhere. Somewhere where you're not banned. We'll go there.
Well, I would love for you guys to come down for a leg session in the dungeon.
Yeah, sounds good.
We'll put that up. We'll make some great reels from it. We can do some real treacherous type of training.
Sounds good.
Our visuals.
MG needs his boot off first, but yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we could do an upper session before then, but leg sounds good.
Yep, done. Hey, I'm all for it. I'll be in prep, so ready to rock. We're good for it.
Well, thanks for coming on, man. Really appreciate it. Obviously, guys, if you don't follow Tommy, give him a follow. He's definitely one of the legends of the scene, been around for a long time, and we hope he's around for a long time still to come.
Beautiful. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it very much. It was good to catch up as always, and hopefully I'll see you before March. We won't wait till that long, but
make sure you keep us updated on how the prep's going. We want to see lots of stories and videos, and tag the podcast as well so we can share it to everyone too.
Absolutely. I'll keep you guys posted of the comeback.
Thanks, brother.
Thanks, bro.
Thank you very much,
guys.
Boys.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.